Yesterday, I shared a letter with you that I recently got from a serial killer who is serving life in prison. He's the happy face killer, real name Keith Jesperson. He's jailed in Oregon State. And I shared the first letter with you, but I haven't shared the second one yet. And his first letter was actually pretty happy. He was outlining all the cushy things in prison. But then his next letter, not so much. I'm going to get to what he said to me in just a moment. But Jesperson was convicted of 8 murders. He's claimed a whole lot more than that, though, and he's serving multiple life sentences. He has also written to the accused Long Island serial killer, Rex Heuermann, and he's been exchanging a lot of letters with my colleague, Laura Ingle, even one kind of creepy letter on Valentine's Day. Here's Laura with that.
Ashleigh, I've received 8 letters in all from Keith Jesperson, 5 in December, and then another 3 last week. You know, this all started after I reached out to him through podcaster Keith Rovere, who hosts the Lighter Side of Serial Killer show. He communicates with Jesperson on a regular basis. And once he put me in contact with Jesperson, I received those first 5 letters, which described his prison life and conditions and about his push to get Rex Heuermann to come clean if he is, in fact, the Gilgo Beach serial killer. Now, these new letters that came with this month with Valentine's Day messages, both on the outside of the envelopes and on the inside, some of the pages were mostly about how he wants me to get back on his call list at the Oregon State Penitentiary so we can have another phone conversation. We talked in January. One page reads, "Seems like I'm in the news a lot these days." Then he goes on telling me, if you have any questions, I can answer them by mail. Send them. You know, when we talked last month, I mentioned that I would sign up again for his phone system, and I had asked him if he is allowed visitors. So he continued in his letter, "Looking forward to meeting you at visiting. Just remember, I am 68 and a little overweight." Okay, a lot. Prison food. Not looking for a wife, so don't ask. Ha ha. Later, Keith. Okay, I've since registered a phone number with the Oregon State Penitentiary, so I will let you know if we have another call and when that happens. Ashleigh?
And I will call you. Most of what Jesperson has written to me about has to do with his confinement, and he makes it actually sound pretty good. He's got putt-putt golf, he's got video games, soda machines, billiards. He is especially proud of how he's doing at Xbox. This is what he wrote. My cellie in A Block is Xbox 100%. I used to play a game called Jewel Master until I broke it, reaching level 135 in 4 hours, scoring 10,789 jewels for 1,251,500 points. The knob broke and the game was over May 1st, 2019. Sounds pretty friendly, right? But the second letter took a turn. I asked him for a face-to-face interview, just like I did with Drew Peterson, and he shut me down cold. Instead, he told me where I can listen to an old interview, and then he closed the letter with this. Because I wrote to Rex Heuermann to let him know his options, everyone wants to stop me, including you. The press are given tours of this prison several times a year upon request. I'm not a story. I'm old news. If I could vote, I'd vote for Trump. However, most inmates benefit from Democrats in office. Sent my $3,200 stimulus money to my daughter in Spokane. They need it more with how Biden is running this country. There is no story here. Sincerely, Keith. Yeah, I'm going to dig into that stimulus money thing. In a total coincidence, though, last week I was in the Indiana prison where Drew Peterson is housed, and I asked him what he would do if he had his right to vote reinstated. And he seems to have something in common with the happy face killer.
You've got to be interested when you watch the news. Who would you vote for if you had an opportunity?
I like Donald Trump.
Tell me what you like.
He's an obnoxious guy. He reminds me a lot of me. He just does his thing. And I think when he was president last time, he did a good job. So, and I don't really know Joe Biden to pick apart his life.
We're going to let you know if the happy face killer changes his mind about that interview and about that stimulus money. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.